Welcome back. Today we are going to be reacting to an article that Bleacher Report put out called The Top 100 NBA Players of All Time. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe, like and comment any of this. We know that rankings, nobody's going to have the same ranking whatsoever. So let me know as we get into, the top 5, top 10, maybe players that were snubbed from the top 10, anything. It could be a player at 74 if you want, but make sure you comment below. And let's get into the article. Here we go. Bleacher Report's top 100 NBA players ever. Ever. Here we go. Number 100, Artis Gilmore. His top accolades. Well, we're not going to go deep into this, or this is going to be an hour and a half long video. But one-time ABA champion, ABA MVP. He was a 4-time ABA rebounding champion. One of the first Bulls guys. 1912, 2 blocks. Who's we heart? Dave Bing, number 99. Okay. Again, we're not going to go through too much with this, especially some of the older players. Like, I don't know a ton about Dave Bing. I'm not going to lie to you. Klay Thompson. I'm pretty sure Klay was one of the guys that was left off the top 75, like just barely. So I don't think he's as low as 98. I just don't. Maybe because his career is still going, but who knows? Bernard King, Joe Dumars, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Sharman, Celtic. Jason Tatum is 93. Okay. So obviously 1-time champion, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 23, 7, 4 on 45, 37 splits in 8 seasons. I mean, he's a current player. He still has more to prove for sure. I think he could be around the same area as Klay, maybe like top 80. Doesn't matter too much though, of course. Highest top 100 ranking, he was 55. I wonder what that's from. Lenny Wilkins, Chauncey Billups, and Chris Webber. All right, so through the 90 through 100, I don't have too many complaints other than I would say maybe Klay and Tatum up about 10 to 15 spots. That's about it, though. Chris Webber was a good player. Chauncey was a good player, but I don't know if they are in the Hall of Fame. I would assume Chauncey might be, but I'm not sure. Anyways, Earl Monroe, 89. Draymond, 88. Is Draymond better all time than Klay? Probably because Defensive Player of the Year, but I don't know. I think I would still have Klay just above him, but he deserves to be there. Alonzo, Tony Parker, okay. Sam Jones, Adrian Dantley, Jimmy Butler. I can't say Jimmy Butler's I can't say Jimmy Butler. I don't even know if I would put Jimmy Butler in the top 100. Most improved player, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, all defensive, and a steal champion. No, I can't say he's that high. Bob Lanier, Dikembe Mutombo, Tiny Nate Archibald. Okay, yeah. I think the only real gripe here is Jimmy Butler would either be like, excuse me, sorry, it would be one of the first guys in the top 100, like 95 to 100, or I don't even know if I would put him there at all. But other than that, I think it's fine. Grant Hill, okay. Paul George, I think that's a little high for Paul George as well. I think he's better than Jimmy Butler, but I don't know if he, I don't know. Pete Maravich, Alex English. We get to the top 75. Manu Ginobili, Dave Cowens, Hal Greer. I don't know much about. Same with Paul Arizin and Chris Bosh. Whoa, I'm just kind of surprised they got Chris Bosh that high. I think he can be there for sure, but I would probably have him somewhere in the 90 through 100 range. Paul George, that was a little high. Paul Arisen and I don't know much about those guys, of course, but Wes Unseld's a champion MVP, so yep, deserves to be there. We're into the top 75. So like when they made the top 75, this obviously is not what this is because Kyrie wasn't in it, but this is what the top 100 could look like. Granted, it's not going to be made by Bleacher Report by any means, but okay, Kyrie Irving. I think this is fine. I think this works. I thought he should have been in the top 75. I think him and Clay were like the two people that were out first. Robert Parrish, yep. One of the best Celtics centers of all time. Dennis Rodman. Oops. One of the best defenders of all time. Probably best rebounder of all time as well. No. No. Joel Embiid should be here, but not in the top 75. I would put him like if I had Paul George at like 90, he could be there at like 83 or something, 84. He's not a top 75 player of all time. He's just not. Sure, his stats look great. He's got the MVP, but he's not. He's other than that MVP, there's nothing really to in the scoring champion. Nothing really I would put that makes me put him top 60. Vince Carter, yeah. Was Vince Carter in the he had I feel like I don't remember him in the top 75. Damian Lillard, 64. Yes, I think he was one of the last people in the I think he was literally 75 or 74. Him and Anthony Davis. James Worthy, yep. Pau Gasol, Bob McAdoo, and Carmelo. Wow, Carmelo. I figured they would have Carmelo a little. This is a little low. I thought they would have him in, maybe top 40 area, 40 through 50. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'm kind of going in groups of 10 here and then kind of talking about the ones that maybe stick out. Again, Joel Embiid, not a top 75 player of all time to me, even with an MVP. I've said it numerous times that I truly believe if Joel Embiid retired right now, I would not give him a Hall of Fame vote. Even though he's got the MVP, him and Derrick Rose would be the only two MVPs to not be in the Hall of Fame. I would not give Joel Embiid a Hall of Fame vote. Carmelo's a top 10 scorer of all time, right? I think he's 10. Or maybe James Harden or someone like that passed him. Maybe he's 11, but I figured he would be probably through 40 through 50 range. Tracy McGrady was not in top 75, so I'm surprised that he's this high. Willis Reed, sure. Yep. Luca, no. No. 57, no. He's gotta be around the same area of like the current guys, right? Like Tatum, Embiid, Paul George in that like 80 through 100 area. He's not top 75 yet. Sure, he's got the 5 all NBAs and scoring title, but best he's ever had is third in MVP. He's had a great start to his career and obviously his overseas career too, but he's not better than Carmelo Anthony all time. He's not. So in that same 80 through 100 range, for a lot of those current, new-ish guys. Obviously, we'll have some current guys near the top, but those are the older of the bunch. Bill Walton, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, Dwight Howard. I don't think Dwight Howard was on either, and Ray Allen. Yeah, so Luca, I think, is way too high. Dwight Howard might be a little too high. He should, but he is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 1-time champion with the Lakers. That's right. I think I would have him in like the 60 through 70 area. Um, Dominique Wilkins, Paul Pierce. See, like, I don't think I can't have Paul Pierce over Carmelo Anthony, even though he's got the ring. I can't put Paul Pierce over Carmelo. Russell Westbrook, okay. Elvin Hayes, Kevin McHale, Anthony Davis. Like, I can't put Anthony Davis over Carmelo Anthony either. I can't put him I don't think I can put him over Dwight Howard either. He was one of the last people for top 75. So I think that 70 through 75 area is good for guys like AD. Who else? Russ isn't as low as 70, I don't think. He would probably be in like 50 through 60 for me, but um all right, George Mikan, like the first NBA All-Star. He only played 7 seasons. Wow, okay. Walt Frazier, George Gervin, Rick Barry, Patrick Ewing. I think Rick Barry might be a little high, but I mean, he is a champion, finals MVP, 12-time All Star, 6-time All NBA. So I can't argue too much about it. Um, Remember to comment what you think about this list as well. Maybe at some point I'll make my own top, maybe not top 100 because that would take a long time, but maybe I'll make a top 25, top 50. Maybe I will do top 100 at some point. It would take a lot of preparing, but I think I could do it. Um, so let me know if you'd want to see that. Clyde Drexler, 39. Okay. He's a one-time champion. Yep. Bob Pettit, another one of those first all-stars of the NBA era. Bob Cousy, another one of those guys. I Allen Iverson, Steve Nash. Whoa. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't like giving credit to Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit's and George Mikins because they're so old. They did it versus plumbers or whatever. But you got to give they are the pioneers of NBA stuff. They still have amazing things. It's not like those guys were two-time all-stars and just because they were the first real name you remember from the 50s, like they legit have good resumes. Allen Iverson probably is too low. Although we're at 30, he was at 36. I guess that's I would probably put him like high 20s maybe. Maybe so like maybe like 8 spots higher. Steve Nash, I think that's fine. James Hart. So how do we feel? So was Russ? What was Russ? Was he 48? James Harden is that much higher over Russ. Granted, they both don't have a ring. They both got the MVP. I think James Harden is better than Russ all time for sure, but is he like 15 spots higher? I don't know. Jason Kidd, okay, one-time champion with the Mavericks, all NBA, all-star, all defensive, one of the best point guards of all time for sure. Doesn't end with, his career with crazy stats, but look how many years he played at his time too. Kawhi Leonard, yeah, probably a few spots, like 27 or something, 26. John Havlicek, another one of those older Celtic guys that won a bunch with Bill Russell and after. Chris Paul. Chris Paul is so hard to gauge because, right, he's still technically current. I think that's fine. It's just hard because, like, maybe if I had my own list and I was, saying, okay, I was going through this list and what my list was as well, then maybe it'd be a little easier. But I no, Chris, that's probably right. That's probably about right. I think he's better than I would take him over Steve Nash. Would I take Allen Iverson over him though? I don't know. That's a hard question. I'd probably take Chris Paul. John Stockton, okay. Scottie Pippen. People disrespect Scottie. I will never understand it. Acting like he was just like this role player who fed off Michael Jordan when he was clearly the second best player, and Jordan didn't have a crazy ton of success until he got a second guy in Scottie Pippen. Not saying they only won because of Scottie, but he was a second reason why. Isaiah, I think I take Chris Paul, although but I'm not just saying which player I'd rather have. It's based on the careers, it's based on what they did. So, okay, that makes sense, just barely being over Chris Paul. Elgin Baylor, I can't put Elgin Baylor over guys like Kawhi, Scottie Pippen. I cannot do it. Even though the numbers are great, but no ring, of course, all NBA All-Star because he was, again in that time frame, 60s era, but I don't think I can put him over like Kawhi, Scotty, people like that. And then Charles Barkley, one-time MVP, great stats, great, one of the best power forwards during his time. Kind of gets slept on in NBA history, I would say. Yeah. Giannis 24. Okay. I wonder whether the Jokic is going to be because I honestly, I think they should be right next to each other because it's like they're both one-time champions. Jokic has 3 MVPs, but Giannis has 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year. So what do you want more? 8-time All NBA. I believe he has him beat on the All NBA stuff and All Defensive. He also has Most Improved Player. So it's kind of up to what you want. So I wonder where that they're gonna put him. Dwayne Wade. I think I'm taking Giannis over Dwayne Wade. Even right now, even with the 3 championships. Think yeah, Karl Malone. I know but a lot of people don't like to talk about Karl Malone because of what he did, who he was, but he is probably the second or third best power forward of all time. I definitely think Giannis, when his career is done, he gets these All Stars and All NBAs up. Will probably be honest. Will finish as the second best power forward of all time behind Tim Duncan. Moses Malone, okay. Then 20 is Julius Irving. We got some teammates there. I don't think I could put Julius Irving over Scotty and people like that. I know he's a 4-time MVP, but 3-time ABA, 16-time All-Star. Like his numbers are great, but he would probably be just after that for me. Wow, I'm surprised they put David Robinson so high. David Robinson's another one of the guys like Charles Barkley, like one of the best centers of their time, but kind of gets lost in those all-time conversations because there's so many not so many because there's definitely names that are better than them all time. Um, but I love that David Robinson gets top 20. Dirk. See, like if we're talking basketball, straight up, who is the better player between Karl Malone and Dirk? I think it's harder than a lot of people would say. I'm sure a lot of people would just say Dirk. And again, I'm not advocating for Karl Malone. I'm just saying, like, I really don't know who I would have as the second best power forward of all time. Some people see that ring and just give it, which, hey, probably the hardest ring we've ever seen. But I think it's closer than what some people would think. Jokic is 17. Well, so Giannis was 24. Okay, all right. That's not too insane for me. Kevin Garnett, I'm a little surprised they got Kevin Garnett at 16 because that would mean that they have him as the second best power forward of all time. If we're just going in order, right? Because Tim Duncan's in the top 10 somewhere. Kevin Garnett's right here. We saw Carmelo, we saw Dirk, we saw Giannis, we saw Barkley. I don't think there's any power forward better than that. Um, and then Jerry West, that's a little high. That's a little high for me. Little high for me. He's a one-time champion, Finals MVP on the losing team, so he didn't. This is not the same season. This stuff is not the same season. Maybe around 25 area. I don't know. Oscar Robertson. Yeah, I mean, look at those career stats. That's insane. One with Kareem in the Bucks, Kevin Durant, 13. I think that's a pretty good spot for him. I think he's one of those players that if I was doing this, this is a pretty much exactly where I would put Kevin Durant. Hakeem, I think this is exactly where I would put Hakeem. Like without me doing it, this is pretty, I think, spot on. And now this is really making me want to make my own list. So you guys might get a list. I just got to determine how big I want it. But yeah, I might do an all-timer and I might do a current, but we'll see. Those won't come out for a little bit of time because I would have to do a lot of work with those. But yeah, Hakeem 12, I think that's pretty spot on. Kobe Bryant. I am not one of those people that look at Kobe and say, "Oh, Kobe, whatever." Like, I feel like there was a time, like 8, 9 years ago, right, where the top 3, without a doubt, was Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. LeBron passed Kobe, and somehow Kobe fell like 8 spots. I don't understand it. I do not understand not having Kobe in your top 10. I understand if you don't wanna have him 3. I understand if you don't wanna have him in the top 5, maybe, but even then, that's still crazy to me. 11th? There are not 10 players better than Kobe Bryant all time. There's not. There's absolutely not. And just thinking about the players, Steph Curry is not better than Kobe Bryant all time. We haven't seen Steph Curry. I'm not giving I'm not Wilt I'm not giving it to Will. I'm not giving it to Shaq. Shaq maybe, but I'm probably not giving it to Shaq. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Um, no lower than 6. You could talk me into some players being higher, but no lower than 6. We know the resume. 5-time champion, only 1 MVP. Maybe that's it, but like 18 All Stars, 15 All NBAs, 12-time All Defense, 2-time scoring champ. How is Kobe the closest thing that we have seen to Michael Jordan? But he's 12 spots lower than what Michael Jordan is. That just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I know saying someone is the closest does not mean he is close to it. It just means that he's the closest thing we have seen, but he is as close as you can get. He's as close as you can get. Steph Curry's not better than Kobe Bryant all time. 2-time MVP. I know he's got the unanimous one, but one finals MVP, 4-time champ. This resume is absolutely not better than Kobe Bryant's. And I'm giving away my list maybe for sure, but he is absolutely not better than Kobe Bryant all time. Well, I mean, I know why people right like I know why people are going to give this to Wilt, 4-time MVP, 2-time champion, right? 37 points and 27 rebounds, the 100-point game if you believe in the 100-point game. Where like I don't there's no way. I do not think Larry Bird is better than Kobe Bryant all time. I don't. If you know who I am, I'm a Celtic fan. I'm a Celtic fan. Kobe Bryant's not. I've got the Kobe Bryant thing right there. But Larry Bird deserves to be a top 10, of course. Tim Duncan, this is another one that I could understand if you don't want to put Kobe above. Tim Duncan for me has had he's jumped from being the 4th best player of all time to me to sometimes I have him 8th. I don't want to spoil it too much, especially if I am going to be doing one of these lists at some point. But I don't know. Shaq. Okay, sixth. So what? The top five then is in no particular order. Like just player I'm thinking about is Kareem and Jordan. Kareem, Jordan, LeBron, Magic, and Bill Russell. Bill Russell five. Okay. Again, I understand why. One of the most important players in NBA history. Um, okay. Magic, like, I don't know. Fourth? I don't know. Okay. So what? If I had to assume this is based on Bleacher Report, I assume they go Kobe, Bron, like Kobe, Kareem third, Bron second, Jordan first, Kareem third, for sure. Makes so much sense. One of like this resume is insane. Insane, man. Best center of all time without a doubt. And then number two, which means number one is Michael Jordan. Number two is LeBron James. I have talked about this plenty of times. LeBron James is the best basketball player of all time. Like as close to a perfect as we have seen. I believe if you had him play against Michael Jordan, had him play, like, he is the best player. He's the most complete. Where you talk about playmaking, defense, offense. Like, granted, sure, 3 point. He doesn't have Steph Curry's 3 pointer. He doesn't have Kawhi Leonard defense, but like overall, he is the best player. But Michael Jordan is the greatest when you talk about greatness between resume, off the like the shoe stuff, the winning, the like all that. Even though they both have obviously some of the best resumes ever, Michael Jordan's the greatest. LeBron is the best. The top three, I 100% I'm on board with. 100% on board with. He was 1 point at two. So at some point he switched. The biggest things that I noticed is I think Luca was too high at like what do they put him at 55, and then obviously this. Um, there's no way Kobe Bryant's on a top 7 NBA player of all time. There's no way. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this list. Comment. Drop suggestions on what like should I just do? Like I don't want to just do top 10 because I feel like everyone does top 10, but I also don't necessarily want to do top 100 because that's like going to be a lot of stuff. So like I don't know if I go like top 30, maybe stretch it to 50, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You again wouldn't see that for a while. Maybe I'll do an all time. I'll do a current thing. Um, but yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. And that's it.